Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I've talked about in quite a few of my vlogs, and sometimes on my main channel I bring it up just if I feel like it kind of resonates with what's already being talked about, or even if I feel the need to say something, I do. And somehow it always does seem to resonate in the video, and I wanted to just talk about today, like when I very first started, recognizing my psychic gifts, and when it all really started for me, because it started for me at a very, very young age. And it's kind of weird, but basically my third eye was already activated when I was being born, like before I was even born, when I was still, growing as a baby, forming in my mom's stomach. I already was aware and awake of what was happening, and it's just so weird to think about. And babies are seen to be like the most intuitive, right? But and just children in general, but it's really just unnatural, and it's not something that's seen as normal to remember your birth. But I do. I remember everything that was actually even happening around me, and it's just so weird, and I can't even explain it. It was bizarre. And like later on into my life, of course, if you have, learned enough about any of the psychic stuff and everything, you do know that we are all psychic. We are all capable of having our own psychic abilities, and any psychic ability that we choose to. However, it does depend on if we choose to stay asleep or wake ourselves up to it, right? So many people don't even believe in magic, but they want to witness it, and that just doesn't work like that. So many people want to be psychic and see the future, but they don't open themselves up to that. And, we were all born psychic, technically, but we choose to shut it out as we get older, because we start to try and fit into the system that we are born into. And the people that raise us have already made that choice for themselves, likely. So we automatically follow those people and follow our other role models that have done the same. And so, because it's a very popular thing to just slip into the system and let it kind of destroy your brain and kind of choose a new path for you instead of, your soul's mission or anything like that. And your soul's mission can always change, but as long as it's changing by your soul's development, not the systematic world that we live in. Don't let that choose for you. So many people think, oh, I just need this much money, so this is the job I'm going to do. Don't do it like that. So how I first noticed, like it all started from when I was literally, before I was even born, my third eye was already activated. And growing up, I was literally, there was this one game that we would always play on the playground, and it was called Grounders. And basically, there would be someone with their eyes open, and everyone else had their eyes closed. And this person had to try and hide from you, and you had to try and find them with your eyes closed. And that was a game that I really, really enjoyed, not only because it was really risk-taking. I mean, like, you could fall off a fucking edge or anything like that. So to me, it was kind of a risky game, and I kind of liked it because of that. Like, you could really hurt yourself doing that game, and that's why parents didn't like it, because it's like, that game is dangerous. Like, you could literally fall and break your leg or something, right? Off the playground. And so that's why I enjoyed it, but that's just me. I also enjoy challenging myself to see with my eyes closed, and that's where the psychic thing comes in, because I was literally trying to let my third eye, activating it and allowing it to stay activated. And I was actually training myself to trust my third eye to guide me to the person, to see for me. I used to be able to see with my eyes closed, and that's how I would win the game. However, I'm not so great at that anymore, but that's because I chose to not continuously be developing it, right? Because there are other psychic abilities that I want to work on, so much to see in the future better. Especially, when you face a lot of stress in your daily life, like, all you want to know is that everything's going to be okay. And I've always gotten received these feelings that everything is going to be okay. So another psychic experience literally right there. And I've always predicted my future from day one to now. And now, of course, I still doubt my visions somehow. But it's just because, you know, the things I see sometimes, it's like it's so unrealistic, but it shows up no matter what. And so as a kid, it's like I literally predicted even how my life is right now. It's like I knew. And that's why I was trying to get everything sorted out earlier on in my life, and everyone was like, what are you don't have to worry about that right now. And it's like, yes, I do, because nobody is gonna, you know, like what I'm gonna do. They're not gonna like the path that I'm taking. They probably wouldn't if I already told them now. And somehow I knew the path that I was meant to take. And now it's like, too, like I said, like a few years ago even, I've said a few times in some of my videos how I've literally predicted how high school is going to go for me. I predicted the distance learning at a very young age, not to mention, and it's all things that I did end up having to do to even graduate. And I always seen two paths for me. There was graduation and then not graduating. And I was aiming for the not graduating only because nobody would accept that I needed, like, the needs that I needed to be able to graduate. They didn't accept or let alone even understand what I needed to do to graduate. And so it was just a constant cycle, and it's like it would just be easier to just drop out. So I knew that too, that was coming. And I also knew at a very young age that I was not going to be able to handle a job. I predicted how my first job experience and my only job experience went. And I predicted what I would be doing now and later. I also predicted starting a YouTube channel because of the first YouTuber I've ever watched, which was Justine's very first, I think her very first shark dive ever. And from that moment on, it's like, that's going to be me in the future. Not like the shark dive or anything like that, but vlogging. It's like, it's something that struck my interest right away. And then I started seeing it in my future. So, you know, it's like I predicted that too. And there's so many other things that I predicted throughout my whole life. But I just think that it's really, really weird, and probably a lot of people think it's impossible to even have any sort of, you know, thought pattern or anything like that going on around you when you're being born, before you're even born. But I did, and I didn't even know, like, that's something that always struck me as a kid. It's like, how could people even think that I'm lying? Because there's no way that I can make up how a stomach looks in my head without actually intuitively have seen it around me, right? And the first time I ever seen inside a human stomach, for of course science class, as you get older, that shit starts to pop up. And I immediately was like, yep, I'm not crazy. That's exactly what it looked like for me. And so I knew I was right all along, but I just needed that kind of boost to kind of show myself that I'm not lying to myself, because, you know, people will start trying to convince you that you're a liar so many times that you actually start to believe them, or that you suck at something that you're doing and then you actually start to believe them, and etc., etc. Like, people say a bunch of shit to you enough times, you actually start to have disbelief in yourself. So that proved to me that I was right, and that they weren't. And yeah, so that's basically all I have for you guys today for talking about my psychic experiences. If you guys ever have any questions or want to know more about it, you can let me know in the comments below. I'm always open to talking about really almost anything. Yeah, anything. So any questions at all, psychic related or not, it doesn't have to be psychic related. It can be anything. And I've definitely already made some other psychic videos too, so definitely check those out if you did enjoy this one. There's probably some things that I probably did explain in those videos too, but probably some things that I didn't explain in this video. So if you want to know more, they could be in that video too. Any of those other two videos that I have on this channel. And like I said, any questions, you can leave them in the comments below this video.